Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I am out here in the garage and I'm actually going to spend a little time showing the garage and the progress made out here. So as you know, if you've been following along, this shop that I am now in was an absolute disaster, a total mess when I got it, but through some help from friends like Mock and ZK and Bonka, and just a lot of work myself, have gotten it looking a lot better. Still a ways to go. I've been kind of slow on doing stuff out here, just trying to get through some things, and when the time felt right, I would get back to it. Well, there's still a lot of stuff I can do out here to help out in just making it an easier place to work, and trying to make it into a place that I can get good video and streams and that kind of stuff from too. So here's a bit of a look around. Got my little workbench over here that we built. That is the only shelf that I have. I've started to compile some of my stuff in these totes over here, trying to decide what I want to do with shelving. I decided to give it a little bit of time, decide how much shelving I needed before I went and started to build shelving, because I find that if you have a lot of available shelving and like more than you need, you just end up piling more crap in here than you need. And I don't want that to happen. So that's all stuff that was piled up down the middle here. Still got some stuff to get through over here. As you can see, pressure washer is about to make its trip back to Florida. That's actually my brother's. And it'd be nice to have the mower, living over here. There's a bunch of work that needs to happen on this side of the garage. This is where the doors are. This one is fully functional and working. I'm going to take off that crappy, cladding on the windows, as I just received. Someone sent me some window film to put on the windows. The reason that stuff was there originally was because privacy, and the original owners just didn't want people peering into here. It's out of sight, out of mind, and I get that, and I'm going to continue that. This door, unfortunately, is in a little bit worse shape. So this is just plexiglass here, and it completely fell out and broke on that side. And it wasn't even the right piece. Like, it wasn't even remotely close to the right size. So I got to replace the windows on this side, or I might just block it off. I might just put plywood in on this side and just have the windows over here. And then, some of the trim on this one's gotten bad as well. I still got a lot of cobweb duty. Every time I come out here, I just start, knocking down some cobwebs. This half of the garage is looking pretty good. Like over here, it's getting pretty clean, and not a lot of the cobwebs and whatnot, even up in the ceiling. But then over on this side, not so much. So I've been working this way. The door in the middle, I don't know if I'm going to put the door in the middle or not, because I'm never probably going to get to it. I'm always going to have stuff in front of it. But I don't know. Maybe it would be nice to have a door in the middle. That's a thing for another day. Oh man, the cobwebs over here are still intense. Is that a bug or is that trash? Who knows? Funny thing happened out here the other day. It was a weird circumstance. Like, I was live streaming mowing the yard, which is already weird. Somehow in the middle of that, the belt came off the mower because it's kind of a piece of crap. And then I came into the garage, turned on the lights to fix the mower, and no lights. I went over, checked the fuses, and the light fuse was busted. Put a new fuse in there and heard a loud pop. Turns out that somebody decided to live in the light switch and shorted it out. And I'll be darned if the moment that this happened, a skink, a lizard, didn't come crawling out of that light socket. So there was a fun afternoon repair. But on the subject of lights, I got some lights. I want to do all new lighting in here. These are all like super old light fixtures and whatnot. The fluorescents, some of them work, some of them don't. That's just what fluorescents do. But the big thing is there is 1, 2, 3, I think there's 6 total regular light sockets that have these giant incandescent bulbs in them. They're bright-ish. They use a ton of electricity, and I feel like they could be better. So I did a little shopping around and was looking at LED replacements. Been a little scared of doing LED stuff because sometimes you get weird refresh rates. I don't know, sometimes it just looks flickery, sometimes the light just looks a little dull. I don't know. But I have like an Amazon wishlist thing, and some people have been buying some stuff off of that, and I appreciate that. Anybody that wants to chip in that way, that's super cool. They're like, not really, they're not like name brand or anything, but you can see that it's a regular light socket thing with 3 movable LED panels on there, and let's see what they do. How many watts is this bulb anyway? 200 watt bulb. All right, here we go. Let's see. Holy! Okay, that's surprising. Yeah, that's just one of them. The light is certainly pretty blue, but that's not bad. I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's get all 6 of these suckers in, or all 4 of these suckers in, and see what happens. Ooh, boy, that is not too shabby. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that one out, put the old light back in, and get a before and after. Well, there goes our before and after. All right, I went ahead and locked that camera into manual, so hopefully you can see the difference. Here we go. Goodbye, old inefficient light. Good Lord. These are the giant ones. I don't know what wattage these were, but just the heat off of this thing tells me it was drawing some power. Well, all right. As long as we don't have any flickering, I'm pretty happy with that. I do think it's going to help to put in some more of tube lights. Like this one's out right here, and these are very dim. I think converting those over to LED tubes is going to help too. And I think getting something up here in the middle on this beam would help. That's pretty cool. Those are not bad. I'm not going to go like throwing any recommendations at them just yet. We'll see if they last. But if they do last, then maybe I'll update this with like a link as to where you could get these. But if you just search for them, garage LED lights, they're probably all the same. I'm pleased. It doesn't seem like it's as bright everywhere, but it seems like the surfaces are way brighter, which is cool. All right, well, that's very cool. Happy with that. Still a lot more to do in here, like I said, with the fluorescence and whatnot, and getting more light, getting enough light, because it's getting to be summer and it's going to be warm, so I'm going to want to do a lot of work out here at night. So having the right light will help. So in addition to working on the 240 again, working on the garage or the shop here, I'm also refocusing in on the ramp truck once again. Jesse is in need of a lot of things, and despite it making its way up here and carrying the 240 all the way up here, a lot needs to happen before I can get it to the point where I'm comfortable using it to bring the 240 to events. I have a huge goal in mind, which is to get it to a point where I can safely and without stress bring the 240 back to Florida for an event down there this year. A lot has happened this year. I have no idea if that's going to be feasible, possible, whatever, but it is still a goal that I have in mind, and it's something for me to drive towards. So what are some things that need to happen before that can happen? So the big thing that's out there, everybody knows, is that the transmission needs work. I'm kind of still putting that one to the side and focusing on things that are in obtainability right now. So the engine, I want to go through and do a good solid tune-up on the engine. We kind of just got it to the point where it was good enough to go. There's still a lot that could be improved there. The brakes are another big topic. Sure, it drove here. Sure, it got here. I would absolutely never drive this thing on the highway right now with the brakes like they are. First thing I'm going to do is completely redo all the hard lines on this truck. I want to do new hard lines, new fittings, new splitter, everything, because I feel like I never truly got those rear brakes to bleed properly, and I don't think they're doing much of anything at this point at all. So that's priority number one with the brakes. If I can get them to a point where I feel like everything is working hydraulically and they still don't feel good enough, then we might need to look into going to disc brakes in the front at least to try and get the thing some more stopping power. This truck had the stopping power to handle roads in 1970. It doesn't have the stopping power to handle roads in 2020. Traffic demands are way higher than they were then. This truck stays at a pretty low speed, so I don't need to stop on a dime, and I drive it in a way that I try to make sure there's never a need for panic stops, but you can't always plan, so that's why we want to try and get the brakes working as good as we can. But as we start to shift here into making videos based on car stuff on a more full-time basis, I'm going to start to do just some little stuff as well, just to get back into the rhythm of making video again. Here's some questions for you all. So let's talk mirrors. You can see I'm missing the passenger side. Turns out the door is just wide enough to get the truck in here, but the mirrors did not fold in, so I went ahead and removed the passenger side because it was non-functional anyway. But this is a 67 F100, F250, F350, all going to have the same door on there. Give me some recommendations. Post links on the video or Discord or whatever, what kind of mirrors you think would look good on here, something that's going to fit these doors well. I would really like one that mounts only to the bottom, not one that bolts top and bottom. These are the ones that were on the truck. Not very good to begin with. You can see that they're hardly reflective. Basically, this is the only mirror that I have at this point. But I want something that tries to mount in a similar fashion to this, but maybe a little bit taller. Something that I can actually see what's going on back here at the butt. One thing I'm going to start tackling here soon is the rust. This truck's really not that bad. The doors have some problem. This fender has the problem. But other than that, it's pretty solid. The floors have some spots that are a little weak, just need to be cleaned up. The seams of the truck. So I've never really dealt with a vehicle that has body seams in this way. You can see it goes all the way around the cab like that. Not only is there like 15 different layers of paint on this thing, but just the way these seams are, it makes it pretty hard to get in there. So what is your favorite abrasive? Wire wheel? Well, I don't know, abrasive, preferably if it's something that you've used in the past and you've had success with, let me know, because that's really helpful. But also with the body itself, I want to start to get it ready for a basic paint job as well. Once we get the rust taken care of, what in the heck should I do with this paint? Because it is so very layered. Looking for, I don't want to go over the top sandblasting or even doing like paint stripper and stuff like that. But what, the best that I have is an orbital sander right now. And I'm just going to use $100 worth of orbital sander pads in order to get through this stuff. There is layers on layers on layers here. Look at that's. There's your original paint color. And then layers on layers on layers of paint. Pretty wild. So do we just attack it with like a 40 grit? What? I don't know. Just curious if you have a suggestion on that. The plan is to keep the truck white for the most part, and then where there is red on it will become the red that is on the 240. And I don't know how that's going to look with that dual flake metallic in there, but I'm hoping it'll look pretty cool to match with the 240. I really want to do the hood line in the same way, where we keep this kind of paint line around here and have that red, not really stripe, but red section of the hood. That would look super cool, but we need to get this paint, we need to get this body super smooth to do that, because it is going to be a metallic paint. That's where I'm at with that, so just curious if you have suggestions. I did already secure what I hope is 2 door bottoms. And it looks like it is 2 door bottoms. Hopefully it's not just 1 door bottom. That's 2. So these, ooh, what did we get? What did we get, Rock Auto? We got Bill's Pontiac. Doesn't even call it a Firebird. I don't know. So what I went ahead and did was got metal preformed for door bottoms. Should be for either side. They do sell the inside of the doors as well, but this one's the worst one, and it's really not that awful bad. So I'm going to try and repair like that section there. And then you can see the outer door skin folds over the edge. So we're going to end up folding that out and then trying to cut the door at an appropriate level for the new insert to go. And then it's a matter of welding that in, you know, wherever it goes on there. And these certainly aren't perfect. Like this one's got a little bend in it there, but seems like that should get us high enough to be in good shape. I think that's going to work out just fine. We shall see, but that's probably going to be the first thing I start, and this will be something that we will likely tackle on stream. And then what I'm hoping is we have some solid metal in here that's going to help us patch in that section over there. I don't know how bad that fender is going to be. You don't know till you start peeling off the paint. So that's where we're at right now. That's the status of what's going on in the garage here. That's the status of what's going on with the ramp truck. You've already seen this week what's going on with the 240. Still plenty on the docket for that. And this is going to be kind of the future of our channel here for a little while. I'm hoping to get into the swing of things, get projects rolling, have stuff, you know, ready to go so that there's not lulls in video, but it's probably going to take me a little while to get into that rhythm. I don't know that this is going to be a successful adventure, but I'm hoping that just having multiple projects going at once and having them all be things that are in-house and my own projects means that I'll have enough to keep going for a good while here. Thanks for joining in on this new adventure here on the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time, hopefully with some bodywork started here on the ramp truck. Thanks to all the patrons for keeping this going, and I'll see you next time.